Hi, if you are new here, I'm Kaniti, and if you're already watching this channel, welcome back. Today we are going to continue watching Code Geass. I have watched episode 1 quite a while ago. I will add a link to it here. So now we are going to episode 2. I have rewatched episode 1, so I kind of remember most of the things, but there was a lot happening in it. So we'll just take it slowly and see if I can make sense of all of the events. So let's watch the second episode. Let's go. Okay, let's see. This is the second episode, right? They um going to show the same kind of preface in every episode, because I'm pretty sure I just saw it when I was rewatching the first one. Okay, so yeah, I remember all of this. This actually, I feel like when I was watching the first episode, I was just trying to kind of sit here and take everything. Like to understand, like to remember the faces and the names. There were a lot of characters introduced. But today, when I was rewatching it to remind myself of everything that happened, yeah, that made me pretty angry with the Britannia, obviously. I'm really hoping this is going to be kind of this story of maybe striving for freedom. Maybe we will be able to get free from the Britannia's rule, so to say. But I have no idea how it will go, obviously, but that's just my wish. Okay, so he's actually shown with other students, because I'm also curious to see how this will go, because when he got these powers in the end, Lelouch, he killed all of the soldiers. Well, he didn't kill them himself, but basically there are no witnesses now who know that he was there, so no one if he manages to escape safely, there's no one to think that he is a terrorist and stuff like that, or maybe know about his power because they didn't report on this. So maybe he can just on the surface go back to his regular way of living. The awakening of the White Knight, yeah, that was so like these Britannian soldiers just went crazy killing people also. And we didn't get the girl's name yet, I think. Since she suggested a contract, is she going to stay dead? Because she's a lot in the opening. I feel like she might come alive. Okay, so there was someone to see that Lelouch was involved. Okay, so this is a caveat we have. Okay, so he wants to trick her into coming into direct eye contact with him. Did it work? Okay. So they kind of showed us the process of how it works. But then when she comes to, does she just forget like what happened? Oh wait, he's alive. And I already drew a cross near his name. Is this some important item to him? Let's see. Okay, so the massacre continues meanwhile. What is. Ah, that's. Okay. This is Lelouch's school. And it's also like a like so Britannians go to this school. And everyone calls him a Britannian. And I don't think he could fake his ethnicity. But he obviously was in Japan like before this attack. So maybe he was like, even though he is Britannian by ethnicity, he was born here and obviously is unhappy um, with the fact that it was conquered. Little sister. He mentioned someone by the name Nunalle? Maybe that's her. He's trying to help the resistance. But I guess she just doesn't have much choice. Cullen. Like, they. They're all like in the same anime style, so like as a viewer, it's kind of hard to say just by looking at them who is who is Japanese and who is Britannian. But obviously, they should look very different, judging by the dialogue of all the characters. I like it. His design looks like I don't know, kind of retro. I've like he himself obviously has some leader qualities, so I guess this power fits him well. Okay, so is it like they have a view on the resistance on what they're doing? It looks like it is being monitored. And it makes sense that he helps the resistance, since he is angry with Britannia for obvious reasons. Ah, I see. They are like playing at a board, right? Lelouch on his side and this, I wrote his name, the prince, uh, on the other side. And they have their pieces that kind of go against each other. But unlike the game, we have real people here who can die. And it's nice that Lelouch mentioned it, that like he does care about it. So as he is good in chess, so he is good like leader and good strategist. This is a good combination. He even plays with chess pieces. Yeah, it's like super on the nose. Yeah, I don't think the prince is too smart of a player in this regard. Lerus. I like how they both feel look very confident. Check mate. Check Shah and then mate is mat. That would be the final. I don't know, like he's kind of he cares about other people and he has nice ideals and he wants to protect his country, but sometimes his face goes like super crazy. So that might be pretty interesting with his character development. Okay, and so our friend Suzaku, it's also kind of an interesting dynamic that our friend is kind of playing on the board of the other side of the. So he is going to get the mech that's called Lancelot. And he's also a very super nice person. What is not serum? Ah, so he can't. Mm-hmm. He can't eject if something happens. Oh, it looks super cool. I think I mentioned in my like first episode reaction that I'm not a fan of mech anime. I'm not really into mechs. But it does look cool. No, like it looks this mech like royal looking in a way because of the color palette, I would say. Um, and it belongs to Special Envoy. That's interesting. Yeah, and he wouldn't even know that his friend is in there, right? So Special Envoy may be like special forces that are used only in extreme situations. That's why they have a super cool new mech. Ooh. It has a block. Oh, come on. Yeah, but it's a super cool machine. And it's a pretty important character in there. It's it's also a factor. It's bad that he can't see what's going on. Maybe he could get some elder brother. Get some ideas how to deal with this if he saw how this mech fights. I really like this girl. Is she Cecile? I don't know. She looks. She reminds me of someone. Maybe that's why I like her so much. Oh, that's so sweet. He thinks about saving Lelouch. That's so cute. Oh, but now they're actually okay. And they wait. Actually, from the previous interaction, Lelouch should be seen through his screen. Of course, human factor is very important. Oh, is he going to be distracted because of this? See, I like how he's such a heroic character. That's. I feel like. I don't know how Lelouch would act. I think he's. Might be more like practical and more cold in this case, but. I like how Suzaku has a strong moral code. That's really cool. So he left his mech. Wait, Nagata. I think Nagata is dead already. How? Obviously, that's not him. That might be Lelouch, but can he change his voice? Ah, I see. That's he went directly to him. That's how he did it. Right. They said that he would be inside this car. But he even said it without the special powers, just from being threatened. But he uses his name Lelouch on a daily basis, like his friends call him Lelouch. So it's not a huge secret. So when he was little, he was there in Japan with his friend Suzaku, who is obviously Japanese, as we saw from the dialogue. But also, as we see from the dialogue, Lelouch is supposed to be Britannian, and he is actually from the royal family of Britannia. But somehow everyone thinks that he has died, and officially everyone thinks that he is just some Britannian, and he goes to school like a regular Britannian. But obviously, as we see from his motivation, maybe he pretended to be dead so he wouldn't be associated with this royal family because he hates their actions. Obviously, I just thought I had the impression that there were no like Britannians in Japan in the beginning, and then when they invaded, that's when like Britannians invaded Japan, and that's how they ended up here. So I'm curious how like I thought, okay, maybe Lelouch was one of the like few Britannians that maybe got to be raised in Japan, kind of lived in Japan a little bit. And he felt like in his heart like this is his country, but okay, that's it's curious how, if he is a member of the royal family, how did it happen like that he had his friend Suzaku mm, as a child, why he hang out with him. Maybe he thought to be dead like much earlier, and when he was a child he already thought to be dead by his family and was living here in Japan. I'm not quite sure like how this all worked. I'm sure we will get more explanation on this. I also wanted to mention something else. Wait a second. It's obvious that Britannians, many of the Britannians, are very, how is the correct word? Like xenophobic, racist, maybe both towards Japanese people. First of all, how they call them 11s, because Japan is now called Area 11. So it's not quite like a slow maybe, but it sounds derogatory in a way, I think, using like a number regarding the people. And some people in the resistance, Cullen, said that we are not 11s, we are Japanese. So obviously it's one of the things that show the attitude Britannians have towards Japanese. So when they conquered this country, I think it's shown that they saw Japanese people as kind of a lesser nation, lower than them. And in these two episodes, we saw clearly with the words and the actions how they don't respect Japanese people and don't value their lives. So, of course, this would make anyone angry, and I think this like anime might play with some interesting ideas. I'm sorry, because Lelouch is Britannian, but he is obviously against this aggression, and he wants Japan to be free. And we saw his intentions in the very first episode, where as a child he said, "I will destroy Britannia." But I think that we got some hints that his power might get to him, like to his head, so there might be some interesting character development here, maybe in not in a good way but in a bad way. We'll see, because in the end of the first episode, when this order was carried out, when the soldiers killed themselves by his order, he had this kind of a crazy power, I don't know, a face, power infected face, how to say it. And in this episode also, when he was playing this chess game, he did mention, yeah, it's important that human lives are on the line, but he looked kind of excited into it and making this face again, whereas his friend was shown to be a person who really cares deeply about other humans. And when in the first episode he said, not even like, "I won't shoot Lelouch because he's my friend," he said exactly like, "I won't shoot an innocent civilian." Yeah, maybe Lelouch being his friend has played a part into it, but I would like to believe that if it was just some other random innocent civilian and Suzaku like sure of it, he also would do the same. So I think this shows his morals very nicely, as well as in this episode where he strayed away from a mission to save this woman who with a child, I think, who was falling out of the window. So he's being set up like this very, how do they say it, like straight-laced, very kind, high moral code, this character, like very pure white in terms of the character, of the intentions, pure good, whereas Lelouch might be more in a gray area, which I think, might be very cool for our main character, to have him, especially with his connections. And also we have the special envoy, which I think is a very interesting faction. I don't have the name, maybe it was said of that scientist who was kind of, I don't know, he had a bit of a quirky character. I liked him. And the girl Cecile, I think I wrote down, she reminds me of someone. I feel like I saw someone like her before in the anime, maybe, I don't know. I think she seems very nice, and her personality is kind of, I don't know, shy is not the correct word. Like, she isn't the kind of person who would brag about something. I think she has an interesting personality here. We still didn't get the name of the green-haired girl, and the last time we saw her, she was dead on the floor, so I'm not sure if she's going to reappear. But I feel like Special Envoy might also become kind of a gray area, but I might be wrong on that. And we are kind of having contact with the resistance now. Lelouch has helped the resistance, so maybe that will continue, and he will continue helping the resistance since he is against the Britannia. Maybe he had his own plans how he would like to act, but before he had these powers, maybe his discontent was just brewing inside of him, but now that he has these powers, he actually can do something, and I think that's really cool. In a place where you are unhappy with how the things are, if you are maybe in occupied country, or you have a very like oppressive government, there are people who of course have this huge discontent in their hearts, in their souls, but they don't feel like they can do anything. And in this case we have a person who has this fire in his heart, and now he also got some tools that he can use. So I think that's pretty cool, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like when I watched the first episode, it was some time ago, I didn't really get into it, but then in the beginning of the previous year, when the war started, and it kind of also amplified the problems with our Russian government, and all of this stuff has happened, I kind of thought, okay, maybe now I will be more interested in watching an anime that is kind of more political and about the war and stuff, because before that I didn't really want to watch anything about like war and this kind of politics and oppression and conquer, because yeah, I really hate this theme, but since it's kind of closer to me in real life now, I feel like I can watch it with from a new perspective, and it might be really interesting. But also, since some details might feel more personal to me now, I feel more invested in this. That's why the first episode made me so angry, and I might be more emotional about this anime now. Oh, but with that said, please share your thoughts on this episode without spoilers, of course, in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and see ya.